Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Over the last few videos, we have been traveling from Vancouver Island back to Alberta. And in the last video, we actually got trapped up on a mountain due to snow. And as unfortunate as that sounds, thankfully, we are fortunate enough to be trapped up on a mountain in our homes. That's right, where most would see a normal camper van or just a cargo van in general. We live in these tiny homes on wheels. And with that being said, anytime that we end up getting trapped somewhere for a few days or even an extended period of time, it is always nice to know that we travel with our houses on our back, and that regardless on what life sends our way, we will never give up on living life. Got you guys. In today's video, we start exactly where the last video left off. After spending a few days sitting here on this mountain, seeing the plows go up and down and the sun kick the crap out of any bit of snow on the road, it felt extremely good to finally be able to hit the road again. And today, our first stop is a very important stop for me, and the possible beginning of something truly great here on the channel. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoy this little drive to the town of Penticton, British Columbia. After spending a few days in what felt like total winter, having the wind in our hair and the sun on our face, it was truly beginning to feel like spring once again. But of course, with living in Canada, we all know that winter is just not done with us yet, and we will probably see a few snowstorms here and there yet. But we are hoping for the best. For those of you who follow the channel, many of you probably know that I have a huge passion for race cars or the automotive industry in general, specifically when it comes to making things faster, which is why I was super excited to find this little diamond in the rough. We had driven past this days beforehand, but it was a little darker and I failed to take really notice of what I was looking at. Now, being on the way back, having a view from the top, I can clearly tell that this is a racetrack. In particular, this is Penticton Speedway. Unfortunately, we passed this raceway on a day that they were not open, and probably due to the season as well. But with any luck, hopefully one day we can come back and take a tour of this entire place, and hopefully see some race cars. But for now, let's get on with our journey. After an absolutely stunning drive off the mountains, we finally rolled into Penticton, BC, where we were about to do something that I have been waiting to do for many years. And I would also like to make a note that none of this would have been possible without all of your support, my friend Ben, and all of the people who have given me guidance and advice to get to this point right here, where we can officially send out the first batch of Bruce Vanlife Jr. stickers, and hopefully much more merchandise to come in the future. Currently, we just have one style of sticker, but with any luck, we can move this up to much more, such as shirts, hats, and hoodies, and many of the things you guys have been requesting for a long time. And right now, you guys could be a part of the change by going to brucevanlifejr.com and getting yourself one of the OG original first Bruce Vanlife Jr. stickers. Anyway, enough of the plug. Let's get back to the video. There you go. New batteries. You can hear us good now, boy, I tell you what. Once we dropped off the stickers to send out to all of you, it was time to hit the road once again. And on our drive today, we actually drive along the Okanagan Valley. And along the Okanagan Valley, they have the Okanagan Lake, which stretches approximately 135 kilometers, or 84 miles, from north to south, making it the largest lake in the Okanagan Valley. And some say it's even home to a huge monster called the Ogopogo. So, with that being said, for our time along the Okanagan Lake, we kept our eyes peeled for any sort of monsters. The Okanagan Lake is actually so long and it goes through so many towns that at times it feels like you leave the lake, roll away from it, and move onto another huge lake. But in fact, we are still looking at the exact same lake, just in a different location. This was actually a little tricky to explain to my dad, but thankfully I had thought the exact same thing my first time rolling through here. When I left Kelowna and moved into Summerland and down into Penticton, I thought I was looking at a number of different huge lakes, when in fact, that was one massive body of water. And with the view being so beautiful around the Okanagan Lake, we could not simply just drive past. We had to find a spot to stay where I could show my dad in person the sunrise view I was talking about years ago here in the Okanagan Valley. Not to mention that we could have possibly gotten a chance to see the Ogopogo ourselves. So with that being said, we found ourselves a free camping spot to stay with possibly the most beautiful view of the Okanagan Lake. In Summerland, they had one thing that I hadn't seen before, which is an outside water fill-up station. And honestly, I think a lot more places should have something just like this. Not just for van lifers, but for everyone to not have to deal with filling their water jug in a congested or busy store. If you have more than one water jug to fill up, you know what I'm talking about. Over the next few days, we actually got to hang out here and enjoy the Okanagan Lakes, morning sunrises and sunsets, along with keeping our eye out for the Ogopogo while I got as much editing done as I could possibly do. Unfortunately, this is around the same time that my Starlink went out, so that's the reason for the delay in videos over the last little bit. But fear not, because we will fix all of that back up once we get into Alberta. For right now, we'll just have to deal with what we have. Okay, you guys, I'm not sure exactly where we're to in this video series. We had to stop here for a few days as well. We're kind of just killing time. We get paid on YouTube once a month. So with that being said, we have to kill a couple of days before we can get enough to go the rest of the journey. As I mentioned a few videos back, doing this on a budget. So we're working with what we got. And yeah, so from here, we are currently in between Summerland and Peachland, which is a beautiful little spot, two beautiful little towns. But right now we're gonna work our way into Kelowna. Kelowna has a pick and pull, so we're gonna go and try to get a few things from there possibly. My dad's van, we found out recently, has no headlights at all. Before, he was locked into high beams because of the toggle on the steering wheel. Now it seems to not be working at all and won't give him any lights. So we're gonna try and find him a piece to switch out for that. We actually did Ben's van's heater blower fan while we were here as well. I didn't film that because it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. We just kind of got out to look at it, and next thing you know, it was apart and put back together. Pretty simple job, but nonetheless, it's time to get on the road. You know, we've been sitting here for a number of days, keeping an eye out for that Ogopogo, but we've only seemed to find a badger. We've seen one badger that also I didn't catch on camera. Like I said, the last few days I've just been kind of catching up on editing and not so much doing some filming. So now that I have some free space on all my devices once again, we're gonna also do something about that when we get back to Alberta. But for right now that I have space, we're gonna go and do some filming. So let's go see what we get into. This particular area of the Okanagan Valley near Kelowna gets absolutely destroyed by wildfires when they roll through this area. And it's pretty wild to look back now and see just how close the fire line got to all of these towns and the main road. All we can hope for is that this year there are less fires than previous years, so that the locals of this area can catch a break and also allow the forest to regrow around the Okanagan Valley. I've heard from a number of friends that Peachland is not only known for having a peach on a pole, but it's also known for its great car shows throughout the summer here in the Okanagan Valley. And once again, I hope that we can roll back through here during the season and catch a few of those car meets ourselves. After a quick fuel stop, we finished off our drive by going from Peachland to Kelowna, West Kelowna to be specific, and we decided to go down by the waterfront where I had stayed for one of my birthdays a few years ago. Once we got down by the waterfront, my dad was really starting to remember exactly where we were. More and more, to the point where he was even calling out landmarks that were just ahead, and it was really nice to see him be familiar with an area again. It reminded me that going back to Calgary was a spot that he was familiar with, and once we got back there, he would be a lot more free to roam around and not have to worry about him getting lost somewhere he doesn't know where he is. I'm sure he would definitely be able to find his way out, but it's always good to know an area in general where everything is and have resources around you. Okay, you guys, after spending some time down near the waterfront here in Kelowna, West Kelowna, we are going to work our way up to Walmart because my dad actually, his headlights are not working, and it's because of his high beam and low beam switch is currently not working. So while we're in Kelowna, we're actually going to try and go to the pick and pull to see if we can get him a switch to replace. But currently he has no headlights. His day runners work and all of the other lights work except the headlights. So everything is fine driving wise except for at night. We don't tend to drive at night anyway, but just to be extra cautious, we want to get off the road before it gets too dark, because one, he can't drive very well at night, and then two, he doesn't have headlights. So with that being said, we're gonna work our way up to the Walmart in West Kelowna, stay there for the night, and also grab a few things while we're in the area. That's the plan so far. So and we also might be meeting a subscriber in the Walmart here in West Kelowna as well. And if anybody else around sees us, feel free to come up and say hi. I'm sure by the time you guys actually see this video, we'll be long gone. But for those of you who we will meet, possibly, I appreciate seeing each and every one of you guys. So yeah, with that being said, let's get on to the Walmart. Wow, that camera's dirty. There's actually a pretty beautiful view from the Walmart parking lot in Kelowna. From what I remember, each time I stop there in the morning, it's an absolute beautiful thing to wake up to. So, with that being said, don't trash the area, folks. We want to keep these beautiful Walmarts allowing us to stay in their parking lots overnight and continue on. You know, and even if we need to stay a couple more nights, whichever. You guys have seen me in many Walmarts before, staying more than one night, and with keeping everything clean and tidy, keeping yourself respectable, you can pretty much stay for as long as you need, within reason. So just keep that in mind. Once we got to the parking lot, we decided to relax for the rest of the evening. I quickly found out that my Starlink was finally disconnected and needed to tap into Ben's Wi-Fi to upload the next few videos. So a huge thanks to Ben for that, supper, and everything else that he's done for us. It's crazy to think that at one point he started, just like all of you, as a subscriber watching one of my videos, and now he's truly become a member of our Vanlife family, or as Van Maruth calls it, our family. And I truly believe that all of us out here living on the road in vehicles, regardless of what type, in a way are all family, connected by this pavement. And it doesn't matter if you're driving a $1,000 van or a $100,000 van, we all drive on the same road. And that's my speech for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video up until this point. And if you enjoy this type of content, then be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video where we adventure a scrapyard. And there's no questioning, we could all use a few parts. So until next time everybody, remember, never give up on living life, because life truly is the most precious thing we have. I'll see you all in the next one. Look at that, look, power steering pump.